everyone, Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. It is the time, I can't see that clock properly for the way the light is. It's 1:15 in the afternoon and I'm just sitting knitting, and this is a Wednesday afternoon. I haven't had a video up in a couple of days. I now have a new pattern out, but I do want some testers first before I put it out for sale, and that's what I've been doing. I spent yesterday, I'll show you the cardigan I finished first. I'll put that down if I can reach it without knocking my tablet over. I'm using my tablet today because I've tried all different things up here and I think my tablet's the best. I get the best quality picture, and I can actually get everything in. As you can see, the picture behind me, I can get the whole picture in, and where it doesn't seem to matter what I do with the other ones, it doesn't put all these things in the picture, but the tablet seems to have a wider area when you're recording. So anyway, I've just finished this little cardigan. This is a 22-inch. This was the last size on my pattern that I needed to write out the pattern. So as you can see, it's got cables down the front near the bands, and cables wider apart down the back, and cable down the sleeve. Just the one cable down the sleeve. And that will be going on my shop. I have quite a few cardigans and little sweaters and things. I've been building up some stock, and I think they will probably go on Etsy, because I'm not sure about Ko-fi, how it works on Ko-fi, because when I sell a pattern on Ko-fi, it isn't deleted when I sell it, and I only put one up. And when I put them up on Etsy, or when I was putting them on eBay before, I put them up in like 10, so there's always 10 patterns there, and as soon as I come down to the last one was sold, I put another 10 up. But I've only put one each up on Ko-fi, and I have sold one or two, and every time I've sold one, it's still there, it's not deleted. I don't know whether that happens with things like that, like paper patterns, because I know you can just print another one out. I don't know whether that's what happens or not, or I don't know whether that happens with the things like these, like cardigans and things, when you put these up. So I'm not sure if someone bought one, if I put something up and someone bought it, whether it would still be there. And before I could delete it, someone else might come and buy it, and I have to make a refund to someone. That I don't know how it works. I'm going to have to put one up just to test it, to see if I can work it out how it's done, because I think I will get slightly a little bit more from Ko-fi than I will from Etsy, because Ko-fi only takes 5% of whatever I'm selling, but I have to get paid through PayPal, and PayPal takes a fee for getting that money for me. So, but I think it still works out a little bit better than Etsy. But I think I'm going to have to test it first. So probably what I've got this time, I'll probably put it on Etsy. So, and I have got quite a few little sweaters and little cardigans that I've been knitting lately that I haven't been putting up, because I wanted to build up a little bit stock. But anyway, like, I finished this one and I now have a pattern. And I worked, I have my tablet, it is standing up in front of the screen on my laptop, and I forgot my laptop is a touch screen, and I think I moved it, the thing moved on the thing, and there's all things coming up on the screen. I should have switched I don't know whether I can switch my computer off altogether from. No, I'm hiding the tablet's hiding the little icon that I have to switch the thing off with. So I can put on something, No, I can't go. I can touch it, but it must be working with the tablet resting up against it. Anyway, this is my new pattern. And this is pattern number 017. I'm starting to put the numbers on. I'm going to have to see if I can go on to all my other patterns and put the numbers on. It's easier for people when they do ask me for a PDF or something, instead of asking me, oh, can I have the one with the lacy pattern on or the one with the cable on, and I don't know which one they mean. So I'm going to start writing the numbers on the patterns, and I'll see if I can alter the ones I already have and put the numbers on those. But I have 17. This is the 17th pattern I've done, and like I'm saying, it is cable and Irish moss buttoned up cardigans, and I'm only putting one picture on because I have instructions on the back. I normally put a picture on the front and a picture on the back, but I noticed one or two people, probably older people like myself, whose eyesight's not so good, I did actually do one or two patterns out in the A4 sheet, because this is actually an A4 sheet like that I just fold in half, and that's how I do the patterns, where you get a nice small size like that, which is, to me, it's more handy. I prefer smaller size. But I have had one or two people, I think probably older people, and one I have actually done the full A4 sheet, the patterns for them, and sold them and put them in. Of course, I have to go in a larger envelope then. So I have done that for them. But I thought, instead of putting a picture on the front and a picture on the back, I'll just set my computer to the PDF maker thing that I use, and just put a larger print, so the print's a little bit larger, so it'll probably be better that way. But I do prefer, when I do the picture, I like to have more than one on, but this was the only one I had with this particular one, so I may change that sometime in the future if I knit a couple more of these, and I can put two pictures on the front instead of just the single one, so you can see a smaller size and a larger size. But anyway, that's that pattern. So if anyone wants the PDF, the testers, these are for the testers. Anyone who wants to test the pattern for me before I can put it out to sell, send me a message on my email. The email is in the description box on my channel. All you have to do is look on the information on there, and you'll get my email. And if you want to test the pattern for me, because I prefer to have it tested before I start selling it, and then if there's any faults, I can put it right before it actually goes out for sale. So that's that one. And put that cardigan there, and I'm having a cup of tea as well at the same time. But it does take a long time to work out these patterns. I spent all yesterday morning on it, and this morning, that's how I finished it this morning, for to get rid of for this afternoon. Only I spent all day yesterday on it, because when I first start printing it out, it takes a lot of time, because I have to put, not just the instructions for the pattern, I have to write all the abbreviations down that I use in the pattern, and how much yarn you use. And for anyone, I've just put down the amount of yarn that it's taken me for to knit those particular things. It could be different for somebody else. It depends on your tension, how you actually knit. So you just say that's just an approximate size of what it's taken me. So you have to think about yourself, how you're knitting it, or it might take you a little bit more than what I see, or it could take you a little bit less. It depends on, what type of knitter you are. Before anybody starts complaining that I haven't got the right amount for whatever size they're doing. But when I come to write out the pattern, after I had done all that, all the ingredients, like I'm saying, the wool and the needles and everything, and then the abbreviations, the tension and everything, and then I start on the actual instructions. Well, I had the back written down. I had all the instructions written down in my book, and I wrote all the instructions down for the pattern, how to do the cable and the Irish, and there's actually 4 rows to the pattern. But there's also a couple more rows after those 4 rows to tell how to do the cable, how to cross over the cable and that. But there's actually only 4 rows. You just have to know that you knit the cross the cables over on a certain row, and then every 8th row after that. Well, I wrote the 4 rows down that I start off with the pattern, and I'm looking at it. I say that it just didn't seem right. I say there's something wrong. I've got something wrong on the instructions on those 4 rows. And then I remembered when I started that pattern, I didn't write it down as I was doing it. It was a second, just a spare moment. I decided I was going to do a pattern for it, but after I had already started knitting it. So I think I just looked at it the way it was on the piece I had knitted and wrote down the instructions where I thought they were from there. But I just kept looking at it, and just something didn't ring right with it. So I left it off because I had done the instructions for the back and the right and the left front, and I left it off there. The left front was okay. I could say that was okay, but I just was not happy with the 4 rows that I had for the back. So what I did, I cast on the number of stitches for the smallest size for the back. This was in the afternoon, why I haven't had a lot of other knitting done. I cast on the stitches for the back. Just the number of stitches, just to do those 4 rows. I did 6 rows actually, crossed the cables over as well and done those to make sure they were all right. And I wrote it down exactly as I was doing those rows, and I had made a mistake. I think on one of the rows where the cable is, there's 8 stitches and not 8 stitches, there's 6 stitches in the where the cable is for that cross the cable part in. Then I have 2 knit stitches, 2 purl stitches. So there's 6 cable stitches, 2 purl stitches on each side and 2 knit stitches. But when you're doing Irish moss stitch, you're doing knit 1 and purl 1. Every so often you come to a row where those 2 knit stitches are 3 knit stitches instead of 2. And it works out right in the pattern. And that's where I had made the mistake. I had kept purl 2, knit 2, all those 4 rows are knit 2, purl 2, or purl 2, knit 2, where one of the rows should have had knit 3 and purl 3 on. So I'm glad I noticed something was wrong with the pattern, because that would have been a fault straight away. So I found a fault on that one straight away, but it took me most of the afternoon because I had to knit those 6 stitches, and then I knit the 4 pattern rows, and then I knitted the rows where I crossed the cables over to make sure I'd done all that right as well. So I think everything is okay, but there's a lot of my eagle-eyed knitters will, if there's any mistakes, they'll spot them. So like I'm saying, just send me a message and I'll send the PDF to anyone that wants to test the pattern for me. But there are 5 sizes on that pattern. There's a 16, 18, 20, 22 and 24. So I'll need at least 5 sizes tested for that pattern. And then again on Monday, I didn't get much knitting done on Monday because I went to see my friend Molly, who the lady I pick up for the bingo, because we knew it was her birthday. She told us on Thursday, I think, when she was getting out of the car when I was taking her home from the bingo, and it was her birthday. And that was all she said. I never got anything else, but I found out on Sunday, I think it was, that it was actually her birthday on Sunday. And I wish I had known, but I did message her on Friday afternoon. I was going to pop up on Friday afternoon and see her and to find out when her birthday was and that, but I never got an answer. I rang her and I left a message on the answer phone on your phone, you know, on your mobile phone, but I never got an answer back. But I just messaged her and I thought, well, maybe she's doesn't know how to get onto the answer part on your mobile phone. So I just messaged her on Monday and asked if she was at home in the afternoon, and she was. So I told her I was coming up to see her. We're going to have a cup of tea and a chat, and we spent 3 hours, I think, sitting talking and just chatting, and I think she was so pleased to have a visitor. And I actually took a birthday card. I says, it's belated because it was yesterday, Molly. I says, your birthday was yesterday, and some chocolates I took up for a little present. So we had a good chat because we don't have a lot of time when we're at the bingo. Because when we go in, we all, have other friends, and they we go and chat to and all that, I chat to Molly for a few minutes and go and chat to somebody else, and Molly goes around chatting to other people as well. So we don't have a lot of time to actually talk to each other about anything. And it was nice to sit down and talk to Molly and find out, actually, I thought it was her birthday. I thought she was 93. Because I was told when I first went there she was 92. Now, I've been going there for nearly 2 years, so I thought she must have been about 93 or 94. She said, I was only 91. She's only 92 now. So I've got that straight. But she was very pleased to see me because, like she's saying, she doesn't see many people, and that there's not a lot of her friends that she's got left because of her age that she had, that she's known all those years. So that was another reason I didn't get much knitting done, because it is quite, I spent 3 hours with Molly, but it's a good half-hour driving up there and a good half-hour drive. It took a lot longer to get home because there was so much traffic, because it was people coming out of work and all that, and it took me about 3/4 of an hour to get home, I think it was. And by the time I had some tea, and I think I did a little bit of this on the night time. So that's how much I've got done of the, I'm on the wrong side, I'll show you on the, it looks so creased up with being squashed up on the needles. I think I need to put it on the circular ones and not get it squashed. So that's how far I've got with the 36-inch rosebud lace. I'll measure it because I don't know how far I've got with it. I'm doing it until it measures about 15 inches. But if anyone wants to put their name on this, that wants to buy it off me before I finish it, because it will go on my shop afterwards if nobody wants it, just tell me and I will keep it for them. I'm up to 10 inches at the moment, just over 10 inches. So I've got about another 4.5 inches to go on it. So that's how much I've got done of this one. And I'll put that down on my knee a minute. And the little one I was doing the tutorial for, I still only have the back done. I haven't done any more of the tutorial, but I have done one of the sleeves, because there are 2 sleeves. I only need to do 1 sleeve for the tutorial. So I just knitted that one last night, I think it was. So I just knitted that one last night, pass some time away. And then I'm going to start probably this afternoon, do a bit more of the tutorial, do the fronts. And then I'll have the other sleeve to do for the tutorial for that. So that was a little bit of that I managed to get done. And that's about all the knitting and things I have done lately, since the weekend, actually. Of course, I did yesterday. I did sew that up yesterday as well. That's another thing, how as they get a little bit larger, it takes a little bit longer to sew up. That's why I like the tiny little baby ones that only take a few minutes to sew up, but as they get larger, they take longer. But anyway, it's not cold today, but the temperature's a really big drop in temperature. I think I wrote it down in my book, I think. I write down, it's just sort of like a diary time. I write down what I do and what I'm knitting and things like that, but I also write the temperature down. And yesterday, this is the last few days to show you what the temperature's been. I write it what it is, and a week ago, we had between 7 and 13 degrees. On the Thursday, it was between 7 and 11 degrees. And then on the Friday, it was between 11 and 17 degrees. And then on Saturday, it was between 10 and 19 degrees. Monday, it was between 8 and 17 degrees. The lower temperatures where it is very early in the morning before you start getting the sun up. And yesterday, it was between 10 and 15 degrees. Today, it is between 9 and 12 degrees. The temperature has gone right down again. So I am not going to do anything in my garden until the temperature goes up, because I like it to be nice and warm when I'm in my garden. Doing things. Because when it's nice and warm, I don't get a lot of knitting done if I sit in my garden, because there's always, I've got neighbours on that side, neighbours on that side, and there's always somebody waving their hand, coming chatting. But anyway, that's my little bit for today.